Welcome to Pizza Club's Pizza Cultura. My name's Peter. I'm going to be talking to my friend Pepe today about Pepe World Pizza Day.
It is the World Pizza Day, or at least it was a couple of days ago, 17th of January. Hi, Peter. Have you ever
What?
heard
What?
before of the World Pizza Day?
No, I'm in Chicago, and I don't think it got celebrated here in Chicago. How about Naples?
In Naples, it is celebrated, I would say, a lot, at least in the pizzaioli community, and on a certain level also in Italy and the rest of the country. But it is strange that such a thing that has such a big name like World Pizza Day never reached the year of a passionate pizza lover like you are.
Please tell me more. I want to hear about World Pizza Day.
Okay, well, now we're talking about World Pizza Day. What indeed we are actually talking about is the pizzaiolo day. So let's say it in Italian, Giornata del Pizzaiolo. It's a day that it was invented only a few years ago. Sorry, yeah, no, well, actually, only a few years ago. And it is strange that a thing that has such a big name has only a few years of history. And I think that if I'm going to give you the first details, you might guess who are the people who invented it.
Who were the people who invented it? Was it the association?
Yeah, you got it right, Peter. It's always them, always them. First, they went to UNESCO, and then they decided, hey, the UNESCO World Heritage recognition was not enough. Let's invent a World Pizza Day so we can celebrate the Neapolitan pizza and all the pizza makers in the world on one single day.
Now, Pepe, by association, who are we actually talking about?
Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana, AVPN, so the Association for the True Neapolitan Pizza that is so famous around the world because they exported the concept of Neapolitan pizza in so many countries on the earth.
So by true pizza, that means that in Chicago, we don't have the true pizza then, right?
Apparently, that's what they say.
All right.
True Neapolitan pizza, remember,
Oh,
true
that's
Neapolitan pizza.
Big adjective there, Neapolitan. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing because it all started from the celebration of the pizzaiolo. So with a U in the middle, it actually
Pizza maker.
Yeah, it's pizza maker, but when you put a U in the middle, you're talking about a specifically kind of pizza maker. So the one that live and works in Naples, or at least the one that makes Neapolitan pizza. It always comes from there. It's like when with the UNESCO, they said that they are recognizing the art of the Neapolitan pizzaiolo, so not just pizzaiolo, because that U in the middle, makes the difference. They did exactly the same things when the association decided that it was the time to have a whole day dedicated to the pizza makers in Naples.
And that started in 2018, did you say?
2018, yes, you got it right. I only said a few years ago, but you got the year right. I don't know
just
how
guessed
you did.
it. I just guessed it.
We didn't have that conversation before. We didn't, right, Peter? So that's how it happens. Just immediately after the celebration of the UNESCO recognition, it was when they came back from South Korea, from Jeju Island in December 2017. And Antonio Pace, the president of the association, sort of had that eureka moment when they said, hey guys, I just remember about a very old tradition that was part of the pizza makers community in Naples. Did you know that until not so long ago, well, I wouldn't say not so long ago, but until around the Second World War, on the 17th of January, the pizza makers in Naples used to celebrate Saint Anthony because Saint Anthony is the patron saint of the pizza makers. And to celebrate it, they used to shut down their pizzerias in the afternoon, and they all went to a particular place in Naples to celebrate all together. Now, if I'm going to tell you what was
Wait a
this
minute.
place,
Where did they do this celebration, Pepe?
yeah, exactly. If I'm going to tell you the
Oh, I
place
see.
where we're going, that might ring a bell
I just want to get there.
yeah. Well, they used to go, according to Antonio Pace, to Capodimonte.
Capodimonte, isn't that where the margarita pizza was invented?
According to the legend, yes, exactly, where the royal palace is located. It is a legend. Well, we already discussed that. We don't
No.
need to discuss it again. Well, Antonio Paci used to said that it used to be Capo di Monte and the nearby area of Colli Aminei. Those are two hills in Naples. And incidentally, Capo di Monte is also the location where today is the main headquarter of AVPN.
Oh,
So it
I
it,
didn't
it
know that.
all it all circles back to that. It's all like a makes full circle. um, the habit of the pizza makers was that they went in that area and they started to light up several bonfires called in Neapolitan cippo.
Cheapo.
Yes, cippo. You said pretty
Cheapo.
well. I
Oh,
like your Italian pronunciation. Actually, your Neapolitan pronunciation. Well, the
well,
thing is that the tradition of lighting up these bonfires is actually not just connected to the pizza makers. The bonfires of Saint Anthony is a very old tradition. It's actually a century-old tradition that comes from the pagan world, the Roman world, and it's all associated to this very old farming tradition of uh, celebrating the approaching to the end of winter, which well, it's not really January, but almost like March is only a couple of months away, just to wish themselves a good spring with
hmm
a good harvesting. And Peter, history says that all the old pagan tradition have been absorbed by the church and they've been reconverted in a religious tradition. So that became later associated to the feast of Saint Anthony, because Saint Anthony is the patron saint of the fire and all the art and crafts, so all the jobs that are strictly connected to the fires. So by association, it became also the patron saints of the bakers and the pizza makers. So that's why this old tradition.
Very interesting. I know that the feast of Saint Anthony was celebrated here in America pre World War II. So that's actually interesting to see, to go back to that information to see if they were celebrating any pizza centric themes here in America. But that's another topic, probably.
Well, it might be connected. Is it the same Saint Anthony? Because in Italy we have two Saint Anthony. One
Oh,
is Sant'Antonio da Padova, which is who is a different saint, and the Saint Anthony I'm talking about is called Saint Anthony di Abbot, Sant'Antonio Abate, and he's
oh.
celebrated on the 17th of January. This is the saint that associated to fire and is celebrated all around Italy. If you on the day of 17th of January, this is not just about pizza makers. If you go around Italy and you go to any small village, especially those small villages, mountain villages, or countryside villages that are still very connected to to the farming tradition, it's pretty popular. The fact that people gather in the evening of St. Anthony, or sometimes, if not on the very same day, the Saturday next to that day, and they light up this bonfire. It's just part of the very popular festival tradition that we have in Italy. In Italy, every occasion it's a good occasion to celebrate something. And on the 17th of January, there are bonfires that lit up everywhere in Italy. So not just for the pizza day, which is a different topic.
So at the time we're recording this, it's the 19th of January 2024. Did they light the bonfires on the 17th for this year, Pepe?
I can tell you more. Do you know what they did in Naples? They lit up, sorry, a very old historical oven that is more than 300 years old, and is an oven that is located inside the Capo di Monte Park. Have you ever heard about an old pizza oven inside Capo di Monte Park?
Well, when you start saying those words, I go right back to Queen Margarita, of course.
Even way back than that, because
Farther back than that?
farther back than that, exactly. Because when we're
Is
talking
that
about,
King Ferdinand?
indeed, so you do
Oh,
know your stuff,
well,
Peter.
I know a little bit.
Yeah, we're talking about when Naples was the capital of the kingdom of the two Sicilies. So we're not talking about during the Savoy kingdom where Margherita, where the legend of the Margherita pizza started. We're talking about the end of the 18th century. So we're talking about the 1700 something. I don't have the exact. I don't think anyone has really the exact date when that oven is built, but we know that it was during the kingdom of Ferdinand IV, that then later became Ferdinand I when he became the king of the kingdom of the Two Sicilies. And he was such a great pizza lover. To satisfy his craving of pizzas, he decided that he wanted to have an oven inside, well, not really inside the royal palace, but located inside the park. So he had it made built in an area of the park that was pretty much far away from the palace, but it's still located over there. And it's great because this oven was restored only a few years ago in 2016, but it was still close to the public. Now, recently, they opened it to the public because around that oven, a new restaurant is been
Hmm.
opened in the Capodimonte Palace, and now basically that oven is visible to anyone that will go to that restaurant and would like to touch the history.
And that restaurant is called what?
Delizie Reali is actually two restaurants because if you go to Capodimonte Park, you have one sort of a tea shop that is located in a different area of the park. This restaurant is specifically is called Giardino Torre, Tower Garden, because it's located inside this garden that surround this tower, and this was actually the old house of the servants of the king at the time. But the great thing is that the oven is there. You can see it. Unfortunately, they don't light it up every day. So they do pizza, they make pizza at this restaurant, but they don't make it with that oven. They have a proper professional
Oh,
pizza oven. But on special days like this one, the Feast of St. Anthony, they light it up. And actually, this was the very first year they used it open to the public to celebrate St. Anthony and making pizza for the people. So I was fortunate enough to go there and have pizza made in a 300 old oven.
now I'm curious. Do they have a pizza named after King Ferdinand, like
If you
Queen Margarita? Do
so
they
you
have a
see,
King Ferdinand pizza?
I don't have heard of ever
Oh,
heard of,
that's
of a,
that has to happen. That just has to happen. You've got
but
to
it's
have them both happen.
well,
Make that happen, Pepe.
I can tell you that in the restaurant they do some pizza recipes that in some way reflect how the pizza looked like at the time. By the way, the resident pizza chef of the restaurant is Salvatore De Rinaldi. Is a master pizza chef, a very very skillful master pizza chef, and basically he just created a few pizza recipes that are in a way very close to the tradition. Like he took inspiration from the old concept of making pizza at the time and creating new recipes. For example, one of the recipes in the menu is the famous mastunicola, so the pizza that is just made with the lard, cheese, and nothing more, which is
Hmm.
to said the oldest pizza ever done in Naples in a time where we didn't even have tomatoes, pomodori in Naples. But there is another delicious pizza that I loved it when I had it, which is called Margherita Giardino Torre, and it's sort of a margherita, but it's not made with the tomato sauce. It's just made with crushed potato of a particular variety called Antico Pomodoro di Napoli,
Crushed
which is a
potato? Did you say?
crushed potato. Yeah, crushed potatoes, like crushed by hands, So
Right?
not the
Not
classic
mashed.
tomato sauce. Oh, is there a difference? Crushed, smashed? Is there a
Well,
difference?
mashed. Oh, well, here in the U.S., it's called mashed potatoes, but they could be crushed too, I suppose. That's fine.
So when you take it in your hands and you just squeeze them, how do you call them?
Squeezed, I guess. I don't know. We didn't
O-
really do that, but that's fine.
okay, it's not tomato sauce. It's not tomato sauce.
It's
So
potato sauce.
no, not potato sauce. Not tomato sauce. It's a peel tomatoes taken out of the jar and squeezed by hand and put them on the pizza, and they are delicious. I mean, that particular variety of tomato is delicious. It's called Antico Pomodoro di Napoli. It's just a small cultivation in. It's a slow food variety of tomato.
Well, I'm laughing just because I think I didn't hear you right. I thought you were saying potatoes, but you're saying tomatoes.
Ah, that's right. That was the misunderstanding.
That's
No, we
actually
take
an
it.
interesting idea. You could have smashed potatoes on your pizza too. That's more a New Haven thing, I think. But
Well, we do have it in Naples as well, but that's another topic that we're not going to discuss right
our
now.
cup overflows. Yes. So anyway, so there is a pizzeria on top of the hill with the original oven by King Ferdinand. And there's a
Hmm.
restaurant there now, but no King Ferdinand pizza, unfortunately. But there
No King
is some
Ferdinand
unique
pizza, and no
old
pizza
pizzas there.
made, and no pizza made in that oven every single day. So it was just made for the special day.
Okay. So was the pizzeria opened on the 17th of
Oh
January
no,
then? Did they make a big
definitely,
deal?
definitely. They actually celebrated for 3 days, not only on the 17th of January, and they kept the oven on for 3 days. So that was very good. But the thing is that we're still celebrating like a pizza day that, as you said, is, despite the fact it's called World Pizza Day, is really not known outside Naples or outside the pizza community, because this is the thing that has been originated by AVPN. They do make an interesting event around it. So they make this 24 hours marathon on their channels, so their social media channels on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and so on. And they basically gather a lot of their associates around the world, and they make live masterclass. So it's their own way to celebrate the Neapolitan pizza. They call it Vera Pizza Day. So it's a sort of a it's a media campaign that they started in 2018 to celebrate the pizzaiolo, but they're really working hard to make it received by the people like it's a World Pizza Day. Of course, Peter, there is no such a thing like a World Pizza Day, because I mean, it should be something that big that all the pizzaioli in the world should know about it, even the one that are just not making Napolitan pizza but make other varieties of pizza.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm just checking on my phone. We have I don't think we call it a World Pizza Day, but the United States has a National Pizza Day, and that's February the 9th of this year. And then
Indeed.
longstanding tradition has been we have a pizza month, and that's October of every year. So do you guys celebrate that in Naples too, or is that just a US thing?
No, no, we don't. It's actually a thing that is only celebrated in US. I know that the National Pizza Day has become pretty popular in the pizza makers community, even in UK. Well, generally speaking, when you go on Instagram, every occasion it's good to celebrate pizza, because there is always like these hashtags going around every now and then. So on the 17th of January, you see the hashtag World Pizza Day. On the 9th of February, you see the hashtag National Pizza Day, and so on and so on. Also, just to let you know, Peter, I don't know if you knew that, but in US you have a plethora of days dedicated to pizza, because you do have the National Pizza Day on the 19th of February. Then, as you said, you have the National Pizza Month. Then you have the National Pizza Day, which is celebrated on the third Friday of May. Then you have the National Cheese Pizza Day, which is on the 5th of September. Then you have the National Pepperoni Pizza Day, which is the 20th of September. Then you have the International Beer and Pizza Day on the 9th of October. On the 9th of October. Then you have the National Sausage Pizza Day on the 11th of September. And then, this is the weirdest of all, on the 12th of November, you have the National Pizza with the Works Except Anchovies Day.
And it's a wonder why we're so overweight, right?
because every occasion is good to celebrate pizza. Did you
I
know that
know.
you also have a day dedicated to deep dish pizza in Chicago?
Yes, I did know that.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say, just for completeness, we do have a week that subsumes the World Pizza Day, and our National Pizza Week this year, which I didn't even know, was January 14th to January 20th, which subsumes your January 17th day. So, we just want to be different, I guess. We just have that week that has the world and whatever. I don't know.
Well, how did you find out about the National Pizza Week? I didn't know about it.
I looked it up on my little phone here.
So is it possible that the celebration of the 17th of January was received by the business in US, and they decided to create this week so to welcome people to eat pizza every day?
Yes, and there's a website devoted to it and it gives the history of it, and it says it goes back to the Greeks, I guess. So, so
Well, I think it's a bit too much going back to the Greek.
what?
But tell me, Peter, how do you celebrate the deep dish day in Chicago, which is the 5th of April, if I'm not wrong, right?
I guess you know more than I do. I guess it is the 5th of April. You know, I would have celebrated it by making a deep dish pizza, which I love to make, but I broke the igniter on my oven, so I need a new fix for my oven. So, full disclosure, I no longer make deep dish pizza, but I hope to change that in the next few weeks. Yeah, we don't, it's interesting, Pepe. This might surprise you, but the wider world, I don't think cares too much about what we talk about sometimes. But,
But that's why we're
that's just the
talking about to the
present.
pizza community.
That's right, but that's why, change has to start somewhere, and it starts at Pizza Cultura.
So you think this is going to be, we are going to take the credit of making the World Pizza Day popular and known in the whole overall pizza community?
I don't think we have to take the credit, but we can just be secure in the knowledge that we actually started it.
Well, I
We started the
think
ball
that,
rolling.
well, you think, the more you talk about, the better it is. To be honest, as a Neapolitan, I love all this interest around pizza. Maybe it was a bit too much starting to call the World Pizza Day something that basically was officially recognized only by the city of Naples, because La Giornata del Pizzaiolo, because remember, that's how it started. It started as the day of the pizza maker, La Giornata del Pizzaiolo, is actually officially recognized by the city council of Naples, but that's it. We don't have like a national recognition, let alone a worldwide recognition.
Yeah, I think we can excuse you if the United States can have a baseball championship named the World Series. You guys in Naples can have the World Pizza Day. That's fine.
But
I'm
you
not going
know
to
what?
judge you.
But what I noticed, because I do have fun when I do research of this kind, and U.S. in general, the United States in general, have a lot of food days. In fact, if you go to this website that is called National Calendar Day, you can find all this kind of celebration. Of course, not just the food days, but any kind of days of the world, especially the one that are celebrated in the U.S. And I actually try to use that calendar to find the sources of the origins of the National Pizza Day of the 9th of February, because I couldn't find any way to understand who actually originated this day. I even did a research on Google, a time research, on the Wayback Machine and stuff, to see who were the first people that actually talked about the National Pizza Day. And the first source, the first dated source that I could find, dates back to the 2007,
Hmm.
but it was a post from Pizza Hut where they were saying that they were celebrating the National Pizza Day, but they were mentioning it was on the 1st of May. It was not on the 9th of February. So the mystery gets thicker and thicker.
Very interesting. Well, I'm actually more intrigued by your pre-World War II celebration in Naples because I know in the United States, Pizza Month could be traced back, I think, and don't hold me to this, but I think to the 1940s that was being celebrated to some extent
Okay.
in the United States. So,
How was it celebrated, and where did that come from? Do you know
oh,
that?
now you're pushing my knowledge. I know there was a pizza club. And beyond that, I know there was a famous entertainer by the name of Jerry Colonna that was the president of that club. But beyond that, my knowledge is starting to get on thin ice. So I better stop there.
But that's exactly like the origin of the St. Anthony's Day with the pizza makers tradition, because we are relying on the memory and the oral tradition of Antonio Pace. But as far as I know, we don't have any written records of this kind of habits. And I'm not saying that Antonio Pace was making that up, but
Hmm.
Peter, you are an historian, so you know better than me that legends are nice, histories are fascinating, and we can use them to create something new, like a World Pizza Day. But when we're talking about facts, that you do need records and proof of any sort.
Right. But sometimes the myth is actually, I wouldn't say just the same as the fact, but has its own value. So my whole thing has been that even though we say things that are wrong, sometimes we say things that are not factually true and we call them myths. But the myths are have value because they reflect what we believe and who we are, as opposed to what actually occurred in the past. So it does have some value to record what the myths are, and it tells us something about ourselves, I think. But that's my deep concept for today.
No, I totally agree with that. I think that legends are and histories are always so fascinating. They actually tells a lot about who we are, what we like to believe, and yes, we can debunk them or trace them back in the history, and it's a fun exercise. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that nowadays we do have fun in celebrating pizza. So who cares if this celebration was invented in the World War Second, or it was just invented a few years ago? We're actually making a communication on something that we love, and we hope that it will become way bigger in the future, that will become embraced as a real World Pizza Day.
Yes, I know. I totally agree. And in fact, I would go further and say there's value to both the truth and the myth, and someone should do a book someday about that, maybe.
I'm really looking forward to that book. And by the way,
So am I.
to add information to that book, do you know that Italians and Americans are not the only ones celebrating a National Pizza Day?
Really? Tell me more.
Yeah, I think you know. I think you know who might be the people that always have a day dedicated to pizza.
Hmm.
There is a particular city in the world that is known to be a city with the largest concentration of pizzerias after Naples, and the largest Italian community outside of Italy.
Really? Tell me.
São Paulo in Brazil.
Oh,
Yes, they do celebrate the Dia da Pizza. Well, my Portuguese pronunciation is horrible, but the Dia da Pizza falls on the 10th of July, and it's a huge celebration in the city and the state of São Paulo. I'm actually highlighting the state of São Paulo, because we do have to remember that Brazil is such a big country, and it's a country that is formed by so many states. But this Dia da Pizza is actually celebrated only in the São Paulo states, and the city of São Paulo is the capital of São Paulo state. That's the place where there is this largest concentration of pizzeria. We counted, actually not me personally, but if you look at Modernist Pizza as a source, they counted the 6,000 pizzerias in São Paulo, and is
wow.
actually recognized like the largest pizza city in the world after Naples, of course, because in Naples we have more than 8,000 pizzerias.
Fascinating. Well, I had totally not known about that, and thanks you for that information, Pepe. Pepe, we're coming to almost the end here. Do you have anything else to add about World Pizza Day?
No, the only thing I will add is to pay attention to the celebration of the 14th of March. Do you know what day is the 14th of March?
I don't know. Is it a Tuesday?
Not that, not that. Well, how do you write 14th of March in American, the date?
314.
3.14, right? And what is
Right.
3.14?
National Pie Day? I don't know. What is it?
It's
Oh,
the
that's.
National Pie
Oh
Day.
my gosh.
And that
Clever.
that even is an excuse. Celebrating the Greek pie is an excuse to celebrate the pizza pie.
Interesting. In Chicago, we do still have a deep dish place called My Pie, and they spell it My with the Greek letter pi.
Yeah, indeed. So you see, it's like I always say. Okay, pizza might come from Naples, might be the Italian dish by the quintessential Italian dish, but I don't know why the celebrations and all this glorious tradition all come from the United States. So I believe that with the word Pizza Day, we're just trying to keeping the pace up with you guys.
Jump on the bandwagon, is what we say here in the States.
Yes, indeed.
Very interesting. Well, that's fascinating, Pepe. And thanks for another feature of Pizza Cultura on the Pizza Club. Like and follow us on any social media, and we'll check back again next week. Bye bye. Bye, Pepe.
Bye. Bye bye, Peter.